time to armor up and level out. Listen up and hear what we're about.
Welcome back, Armor Nation. Josh here with Dusty.
Hey, man.
Welcome, sir.
How you doing?
It's good to see you.
You too.
We're going to do another round of overrated, underrated, one of our favorite topics, and that comes from a few arguments we've had in the gym just the last couple of days. Nothing heartbreaking, I don't think. Maybe it is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
But the format of today, I'll toss out a topic, and you tell me whether you think that topic particularly, you can add context to it, is either overrated or underrated, and then maybe you just tell me why, so that the folks at home will be like,
Agree or disagree?
Violently disagree, or maybe they're on the fence and we can help them a little bit, so on and so forth. We're going to kick it right out. Pre-workout supplementation.
Pre-workout.
Pre-workout supplementation. What you got?
I'd say
Overrated, underrated?
Overrated.
Overrated?
Yeah.
Why's that?
I think most of us consume entirely too many caffeine for one, but just stimulants in general. That, like, I mean, what does a pre-workout actually gain you?
Okay, I think that does break hearts almost right out of the gate. I feel like a lot of people want to believe that the pre-workout is a big deal.
Yeah, and I think for me personally,
I mean a specific supplement. I don't mean a pre-workout meal. Let's clarify.
Exactly.
That. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we're talking
caffeine specifically.
Yes.
Do you think it's overrated because of this whole thing of I need an extra supplemental piece to it? Or just in general, like for instance, if I had to have this exact supplement for it versus a cup of coffee.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's definitely like it's marketed way too much.
Yeah.
And I mean, nearly every supplement company has a pre-workout.
Do you think it's a trickle-down effect? Like, for instance, I mean, your boys, right? Do they think? Do you see something like everybody talks about having to have a pre-workout, and then it's like all of a sudden, then it starts to go to where all the way down to young athletes have to have a pre-workout, and then that becomes kind of like a muddy water right there.
Yeah, and I think it just sets you up for kind of the habit of needing stimulants to be able to perform or just do certain tasks.
Now, do you think that in that case, though, do you think that it's maybe okay to occasionally splice those things in there?
Yeah, I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with it. It's just, I think it's overused, and the benefit to it is, I don't think as great as what maybe people think that it is, or that it the marketing like tells us that it is.
Mm-hmm. Do you think that when it's overused like that, do you think that you would find benefit to cycling on and off something like that?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing with caffeine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, 100%.
You create an adaptation to it, and it's like you need more.
Do you like the pre-workout that has your like scalp burning and your eyes on fire?
Yeah,
baby. Do you like it?
I wouldn't say I like it, but I don't. That's like, if I were going to take one, that's the one I would take. I mean, I want to feel it, you know?
Yeah. Okay, got it.
And occasionally I will, but it's very, like, occasional that I'll...
Is that like on, man, your worst day, you're really dragging, you didn't sleep well, I take pre-workout? Or do you have like, I'll just take it on leg day every time or something like that?
Yeah, I really don't. I tend actually probably not take... Now, I used to. I think that's changed the older I've gotten. Used to, I did when I felt like flat and I needed a little like extra push. Then that's when I would use it. Now I know that I'm just gonna like take it a little bit easier today. Maybe not, push as hard because if I got 5 hours of sleep or whatever it may be.
Okay. So you would actually adjust the intensity of the workout a little bit as opposed to trying to have something artificial or exogenous increase the intensity for it.
Yeah, and I think that's just age.
Maturity. We can call that maturity. Yeah, okay. This one was a little, people argued about this one a little bit. Shoes, overrated and underrated. I'm just going to toss that out there and see what you say without giving you any context to that.
Well, I think that one's a lot like the pre-workout. Huge market for it.
Oh, my
and
gosh.
Definitely over-marketed. I'm going to have to throw it in the overrated category.
You have a couple shoes.
I'm a shoe guy.
Okay, I wasn't gonna say.
I don't think that the type of shoe that I wear necessarily has any type of great benefit on workout or really anything.
Now, are you somebody who says every now and then maybe it's a good idea to work out without shoes? Do you think that we rely too much on them? Is that where you're coming at with the overrated?
I think there's like for me, I'm pretty much on like this zero train right now. I like a little bit more of a minimalist shoe. What I've noticed is my feet like feel better.
Yeah. With a wider toe box.
Yeah, wider toe box, less like arch. You know, just a little bit more.
Will you run in a minimalist shoe?
I have.
Outside on concrete.
Here's one thing. If I'm doing like more sprints, yes. If it's something like longer, it's not as forgiving and it doesn't feel as good. I think it's one of those things you probably have to build up a like a tolerance for it. So not doing it enough. I don't run a lot of long distance to begin with, but if I did, I've been rucking more lately, and I rucked in them and got a blister.
So you get a blister just because of the way that the shoe is, or because it was newer, or
I'm not really 100% sure. I think it actually could have been a little bit of my sock, the way that my sock was kind of.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It might have been bunched up in the shoe. But
how long did you ruck?
That was about 45 minutes.
Okay. Was it hills or was it
a little bit of mixture, flat and had some hills. Not anything steep, but
your gait is going to change though.
Yeah.
So that could have been a little bit. Could have been 45 minutes under load. Gait's a little different.
Yeah. I changed like the last few times that I've rucked longer, like more than 30 minutes. I've just went to a little bit more of a thicker shoe.
But in general, there's not like it's this brand or die or minimalist or this or that or whatnot.
I think it's another one of those you just got to be careful with. Like the marketing is very strategic, and you can get caught up in all the like hoopla. And especially you got some good. I mean, I'm not saying like Noble, for instance. I think their shoes are stylish. You know, they got some like cool designs and things like that. But so that's the other thing that you kind of can get caught up in is you got to have the tie dye.
20 pairs later,
the American flag one.
You're deep into it. Yeah. Okay. This was another one. How about cardio? And I'm just going to leave it at that. Now I'll give you the context of that one. So cardiovascular in terms of weight loss. So that was the big argument. Overrated, underrated, cardiovascular work for weight loss.
Weight loss?
For weight
I
loss.
think that's probably it's overrated if it's for weight loss.
Okay, so tell me when it would be underrated.
In general.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's underrated from a like overall health standpoint.
Heart health, so on and so forth. We need to do a
little
bit
more.
more.
But for weight loss,
you
don't have to spend 5 hours on the treadmill.
Right. Where would you have to spend the time for weight loss?
Well, for one, I think is like you definitely need to look at your nutrition, but also lift weight.
Yeah.
Strength training.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what's underrated when it comes to weight loss is people aren't doing enough strength training and they're spending way too much time walking and running. And
do you have a general sort of cardiovascular rule that you have just for health generally? So if you're like, hey man, I want to come across that line as general physical preparedness like we talked about a few weeks ago, is there a cardiovascular amount of work that you like to have in there? Like I want to do 120 minutes of zone 2 and I want to do 20 minutes of intervals, or is there anything that you like?
I try to, every week I try to get like 120 ish minutes of like zone 2 cardio.
Okay.
And it's not all at once.
But you're not doing it because you're trying to burn a whole bunch of fat.
No.
You're doing that because heart health, just all around general, being able to walk up and down stairs for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Okay.
And just helps me to low impact. I feel better.
Yeah.
And then, but I also like to hit some of those other like energy systems too. So sprints.
That's where sprints come in.
Yeah.
You've been working a lot of sprints lately.
I have.
Yeah. How's it going?
I'm really enjoying it, man.
Yeah. Okay. What do you like about it?
Well, I think physically, like my knees and things are feeling better.
Feeling better at sprinting more. Is that because you've reduced other things? So what I mean by that is so if I dedicate a day to sprinting, which in general is going to be less volume of hitting the ground, does that mean that day of dedication you had to pull out something like front squats or squat cleans or something like that? Is that what you would relate that to?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because I just been so much on that other side for so long, that it's like now all of a sudden, because I wouldn't say I neglected it as much as I just underutilized. Like I did some sprinting, but not consistently, and with no real intent or goal in mind. Like I'm really wanting to. I'm going to retest my 60-yard dash here in a couple weeks. And
How long between tests?
Well, this one last time it's been about 2 years since but I just haven't been doing much sprinting since then. So I want to kind of see how it matches up to then when I was doing a little bit more, but I'm really wanting to go back and see how it measures up to my fastest time when I was in college. So, because I feel faster, I want to know if I'm just delusional or if it's actually.
We're going to have a podcast about that.
It's actually something that's working. So,
well, let me ask you about that.
It feels good to open it up, man.
It does, but let me ask you about that. So somebody that hears this that has not been doing that but has been in the gym.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the ramification. I've been working out, but I have not been sprinting, and they're like, "Yeah, I've heard about that, or I want to try it." Where do they start for something like that? Like, how do you?
Well,
start
I wouldn't just like roll out to the track.
I think that sounds like a bad idea.
Yeah, and start sprinting. I would say like
you put them on a hill, so they're already at a little bit of a handicap to be able to go their fastest.
Yeah, I would
start
with some hill. And I don't even know that I would necessarily sprint on that, but maybe like some 70 to 80% efforts.
So we're looking at a rate of perceived exertion, roughly start with 70. So you're not really sprinting.
No.
You're working towards a sprint.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you start with the heel, and then like right now I'm trying to consistently sprint 2 times a week. So one day I'm doing like some incline, like hill sprints. I just started adding like a sled to that.
Oh, okay.
And then the other day I'm just going out on the turf and just doing like 30-yard sprints.
Okay.
30, 40-yard sprints.
And what's the recovery? Is it like 1 by 3? Like what are we looking at? Okay.
I'll like sprint it, and then I really like take my time, coming back to the start
until
line.
You're fully recovered.
Yeah.
Because it's a true sprint.
Yeah. So I can keep the efforts high.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Okay, so I like that one. Another one was playlists, radio. What do you listen to?
I'm probably a bad guy for this one.
You might be surprised of what. So a couple folks we were talking to.
I'm personally speaking on these things. So playlists are overrated. I personally do not notice too. I don't like silence. I just need background noise, and I really zone out. And so I don't necessarily hear the music too much or the words to things. So Jeremiah's probably like, "Oh, you dude, you're way off here."
Just broke his heart. He could turn the camera off right now.
So for me personally, I need music.
Yeah.
Now, as long as it's not like opera or something, just totally out there, I probably can roll with it, and get the job done.
Okay. Okay. So when you do you think that you need to be able to work out without music? It's just a personal question.
I think you should. Yes.
Doesn't matter if it makes it better. It could totally make it better, but I think that it's good to be able to do it without and with.
I think you should be able. I think anything, whatever it is that you hate the most, you should do. So if that's no music, you just like, oh God, there's no way I can't do it. Like you need to do it.
Try it. Try it.
So, and maybe that's just because you don't want to be left alone with your own thoughts.
The rumination of the craziness. Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh, now we're getting all philosophical. Let's switch topics now. Warm-ups. Overrated, underrated?
Underrated.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Underrated.
I'm not sure. Yeah. I mean, if you start to get into a crazy 30-minute warm-up, then that's not really a warm-up anymore. But most people don't do that.
If you think they're overrated, back to the sprint one. Go sprint and let us know how that one goes.
That's a good point. How long do your warm-ups normally take?
I'd say no less than 5, probably no more than 12 minutes.
Not hardly any time at all in the grand scheme of things, and we know that it honestly changes the game of the workout entirely.
And I'll tell you this, as much as it is that I'm moving and I'm like kind of greasing the groove, so to speak, to get ready to move with intent is I'm also getting my mind like there. You know, it's like that shift in gear of where chances are I probably just came either out of a session or out of a meeting or if maybe you're just getting to the gym. It's like, but that warm up allows you to be able to just kind of shift your mind to more of like, all right, now I'm here. I'm going to be present in this moment. So it's just kind of that like reset button for you. And I think sometimes people overthink warm-ups. Like, you know, you can get so like caught up in, it's got to be the same, and I got to make sure that I warm the exact muscles up that I'm going to be training. And I don't think that there's anything wrong with that by doing that. But I also think too, there's as much of a mental reset that can be gained on the warm-up as there is like the physical preparation.
I'm glad you said that. I never really think about that. That's like a thing that happens, and I think I personally just sort of take that for granted. You walk away from whatever you're doing, and it lets you flip the switch to something else. That's a good point.
Yeah.
So I would encourage athletes that don't do a significant warm-up to just do it because of that alone, and then get the other benefit of it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's big. Post-workout meal timing, overrated, underrated?
I think that one's underrated. I've always been a very diligent.
I see you doing that, actually. Yes, I do. I've seen the Tupperware or whatever it is right after, and you're on it.
Yes.
What do you take? So if you just get done working out, what is your normal? Do you have a normal? This is what I always do after a workout, or something like that?
I normally crush like a really big meal.
Lots
of protein.
Okay. Carbohydrate.
Yep.
Okay. What
protein
are
and carbs?
The protein ones are probably obviously just meat, something like that.
Yeah.
What about the carbohydrate? Is there a specific carbohydrate that you like to have? Is this where you're like, I'll do something a little bit more fast acting, or does it matter? Or do you do a blend?
I wouldn't say I get too like specific on that part. I'm just looking for a carbohydrate. If I have access to something that's more fast acting, then
go for it.
By all means, I'll go for it.
Yeah, okay.
But I'm just trying to get just a good, nutritious, meal in me pretty quickly.
What's pretty quickly? We talking like 15 minutes off of the workout, 30 minutes off of the workout?
30 to 40 minutes.
Okay. Do you? This isn't really part of it. We've talked about this before, but like 100%. We've heard about that for 30 some years, right? What's the protein source? Is it what I mean? Is it whey protein or is it a shake? Do you care?
I typically like immediately after training. I like to get like a meal.
From real food meal?
Like real food, yeah.
Do you cut that with a protein shake? Do you do protein shake and real food? Okay.
Sometimes, yeah. I don't do that. I don't like to. I'm not a big like liquid drinker with food, so I would a lot of times I do like a protein shake even before.
Okay, so tell me about that. So like how long before you train will you have
40 to 60 minutes.
Okay, so
I don't do that every time, but
You would do that before you would do it after, and then you would have a real food meal after. Oh, okay. Do you have a just personal feel?
Sometimes that's just I personally don't like to train on a like hungry, you know.
Yep, totally. Yep.
I'm the type that like if I'm hungry, it's all I can think about is the food.
Okay.
So I like to go into the session.
Being able to think about working out instead of what you're going to eat.
The meal.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I like work for food, you know.
Okay. Dusty, that's all I got, man. That was our underrated. I don't think we broke any hearts today.
I don't know, Jeremiah, how you holding up?
My heart might be a little broken.
Yeah. Okay. Well. Jeremiah's the playlist guy.
He is.
Jeremiah, what's the best song to work out to?
Oh man.
Do you have one? Currently. Doesn't have to be ever. Currently.
Let's say.
If you're going up to the deadlift platform for a
what-
PR, what are you
what
queuing up?
is it?
What's your walkout song, Jeremiah?
My song at the moment is Supreme Ruler by Kublai Khan.
Okay.
Very heavy.
That took a whole 10 seconds for him to.
Okay, Supreme Ruler by who?
Kublai Khan.
Okay, there you go. You heard it first. Jeremiah walks up to a deadlift. That's what he plays. PR,
Guaranteed, yeah.
It's happening, yep.
Dusty, thanks for your
Oh,
time.
man, thanks.
We need to part this place. What do you hope to leave? Who's going to carry your body, your legacy, your dynasty? The word Khan in the English language translates to king.